Okay. I'm going to attempt to do this from a hotel room. I am not a YouTube person, nor have I ever filmed myself doing anything like this, so I'm going to ask you to be patient with me and also ignore my jacked up cuticles and fingernails. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I have learned how to make these little three-dimensional seed bead flowers, and then I've been finishing them off with either 3 to 4 millimeter beads in, you know, whatever colors show up best. So for the darker ones, I've been using silver because they will be attached to a silver bracelet, but you can literally use anything your little heart desires. And then you're also going to need, 11O seed beads. These are okay, but my favorites are either the Toho or the Miyuki. I think I'm saying that right. Probably not, but whatevs. It's 11 o'clock at night. But I wanted to make sure that this showed up and use a dark color, so this is what we're using right now. These are fine. You'll also need a beading needle. Now, I have tried to use those big eye needles before that look like two little wires held together at the ends, and I have broken about 4 of them because they are pathetic. So, I recommend getting actual beading needles. If you're working with 11O seed beads, any of these sizes are going to be okay. I usually use an 11, but I chose a 10 tonight because I haven't rubbed all the paint off of the 10s and you can see it. Then you will need some beading thread. I use Fireline, or this is Beadsmith's version of Fireline. It comes in either crystal or smoke, which is their black version. It's braided and fused, so it's really, really strong, even though it looks like dental floss. So it's not very breakable. Anyway, you're gonna need a piece of thread, if I can get it. Probably about, good grief, I'd say about 16 inches long. You probably will not use all of it, but I have tried to conserve thread before and have been stuck with thread that's too short, and then I can't move my needle to finish up the flower that I just worked so hard on. Let me get my beads out. I really like working on one of these bead mats because it allows me to get horizontal with my needle, which makes it easier to pick up the beads. And it has handy dandy little spouts so you can pour the beads back into the tubes. Alright, so all you need to do is thread the needle, and I like to, I heard once that you should always bring the needle to the thread and not the thread to the needle, and it's worked a lot better. Of course, now that I say that, because I'm on camera, it will take me 4 years to get this stupid needle threaded. Ha! And then you want to just leave about that much, fold it over, and you're not going to tie a knot in it. You're just going to keep about this much, I don't know if you can see that, about 2 inches in your fingers to hold tension, and then you're going to cut that off in a couple of steps. So to start the flower, you just pick up 5 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, you got your 5 seed beads, right? Okay. So in the steps, I call it flower, star, 5 petals, and then connect the petals. Okay, so I keep going out of the camera. I told y'all I'm not used to doing this. So you get your 5 beads, kind of hold it up against your finger like this, and then you're going to, fuck me. I'm not used to doing this on camera. Okay, let's try that again. 1, 2, God bless it. 3, motherfucking 4, and 5. All right, let's try this again. So you'll bring it down and kind of set the bead over your fingers, and then thread the thread through your middle finger, and so you can have tension. And then you're gonna run the needle. What is on the end of that needle? Gross. Run the needle up through the 5 beads. Can you see that? So you're going through all 5 beads at once. All right. And then you pull it through. You keep holding on to that end because otherwise it will come out. Ask me how I know. But you want to make sure that it doesn't, oh, that's way too long. It shouldn't be this hard. This is ridiculous. I would say that I would edit this out, but I don't have a way to do that. So you're just gonna see this whole painful process, and I'm sorry, but yeah. So you don't want to have as long of a tail as I have on here, because then you're guaranteed to run out of thread. Screw it, we're gonna play chicken with the thread tonight. All right, so after you get the 5, you just drop your needle, and then you're gonna, no, I can't play chicken with this thread. I know that's not gonna be enough. French toast. I'm a professional at fucking this up. Okay, come on. Which end am I pulling? There we go. Now. Okay, so you've got your little 5 beads. Focus. And you've gone through them, and that leaves that little loop. Now you're just going to double knot. So just like you're tying a shoelace or a surgical knot or whatever the fuck it's called, half hitch, I have no idea. You just tie a knot, and then you tie another knot in the same place. If you can get your big ass sausage fingers to work. Son of a biscuit. Wait, did that go through? Hell no. Okay. So anyway, you pull it tight, and you end up with a little tiny flower. Okay, so that was step 1. So next, you're going to be building a star. So in order to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to go through each one of these. You're going to pick up one bead and then go through each bead that's on here. And I like to start with the one that is, so my knot is of course right between those. So I start with the one that is over here with the tail. That way I know when I get back to my tail, I am done. Yeah, so you just pick up a bead and go through. And I usually like to keep the little tail between my fingers, that way I'm not fighting with it and getting it caught in my thread. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay, so if it starts twisting and you're like, I don't even know where the hell I'm supposed to be, if you look at where your thread is coming out, then you know that the next bead is where you're supposed to be. So you're going to be working from left to right. So just flip it back on around and grab yourself a bead and go through the next one like that, and then turn it so you can get your next bead, pick up another bead, and good grief, go through the next one. Turn it just a little bit. Pick it up, go through the next bead. And then you're on your last one. Now on the last one, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to use that bead. See, the thing I don't like about the cheap beads is the openings of the beads are never the same, ever. And some of them are much smaller. Okay, so for the second one, you're going to go through the next bead like you normally would, which at the end is kind of fiddly. So you're going to go through that bead. Son of a biscuit eating whore. Okay, I'm gonna go through that bead and see, you have your little star, right? Little star. All right, now in order to make the petals, you're going to be building petals off of the 5 points that you just made. So you're going to have 5 petals that are going to be built off the 5 points of the star. So in order to start your first petal, you have to go through that first point. So you've brought your thread through that last bead, and now you're going to put the needle and thread through that top bead right there. Okay? And by this time you have sewn enough and you don't need this stupid little tail that keeps getting in your way anymore. So go ahead and cut that bitch off. Hopefully with snips that are less abused than mine. Alrighty. So you've got your little star. Now, and you'll do this for each, where the fuck did it go? You'll do this for each petal. You're going to pick up 5 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I just told my age there. Okay, so you see how when you went through that point, that thread is coming out on the left side. So if you can picture it in your head, what you're doing is you're going to make a loop. So you're going to go back through that bead. See? So your tail's coming out that way, but you're going to go back through. Like you're following it around. Like a lovesick puppy. And then you're going to draw the beads closed, and it's going to make this little loop. Now, other tutorials have had me flip the flower over and blah, blah, blah. It's such bullshit. So what you're going to do is after you pull it, you're going to go through the first two beads, and you want to go this way. You don't want to go that way because that's backwards. So you're going to run it back through these first two beads, okay? And then pull, and now you have the base of your petal, and you need to add 3 more beads. So we'll pick up 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to skip this top one. That's going to be the top of your petal, no, the middle of your petal. And we're going to go through the bottom 2, and then we're going to go back through the top of the star, the one that started this whole motherfucking thing. So you're going through 3 beads, okay? So you pull, and you have, what the hell is that? Doesn't even look like a petal. I hate these beads. What the heck? Okay, first petal. All right, and you're just going to keep doing the same thing for each little point of the star. So in order to do the next petal, you'll have to go through the next star point, which is right there. So you'll go through the star point, draw your thread through, pick up 5 beads, all right, and then just like before, you've got your thread coming out this way, so you're going to go back through that loop, or that bead, so that you can make a loop. You're going to pull it through until you have your little circle, and then you're going to, just like before, you're going to go back through the first 2 beads. So when I say first 2, like y'all know what I'm talking about. So when you're done with the loop and your thread is coming back out because you made a circle, so you see how it's kind of divided right now? You've got the 2 on the right and the 2 on the left and then the one up the top. So you're going to go through the right, like if you were trying to make another loop, okay? Because that's essentially what you're doing. You're just adding beads at the top. Okay, so I like to keep the thread between these 2 fingers to help keep some tension. So you're going to go through the top, the first 2, and pull your thread. And now you're ready to pick up the 3 top beads. 1, 2, and 3. And then once again, you're going to get that stupid thread out of your way, and then you're going to skip. So you've got your thread coming out at that one, right? You're going to skip this one, and you're going to go through these 2, and then you're going to go through the one that started it. So you're going to go through your star point again. And you'll be able to tell which one it is because you can see all the threads coming in and out of it. So you're gonna go through that stupid tiny ass bead. Okay, so you're gonna have 3 beads on your needle and you're gonna go through 3 beads. So you're gonna pull it and then kind of rearrange them. And there's your second petal. Now we'll move on to our 3rd star point. Go through it. And then we're gonna pick up 5 beads. I almost said 3 because I'm an idiot and I'm tired. And I picked up 3 beads. God bless. Okay. So you got 5 beads. You've gone through your top star point and now you're gonna go through it again to make your loop. All right, so you've got your little loop. You're gonna tension your thread and then you're gonna go through the first 2 beads, which is a lot easier when you're not doing it on camera. But you can play a drinking game with how many times I bitch about being on camera. Okay. Now, you've gone through your 2 beads. You're gonna pick up your 3 top beads. 1, 2, 3, and we're halfway there. All right, so with your 3 beads picked up, you are going to, once again, skip this top bead, and you're gonna go through the 2 beads on this side, and then again through your star point. So 3 beads on the needle and then going through 3 beads, and you're gonna pull it through. And then you're gonna go through your 4th star point. All right, and then pick up 5 beads, little tiny, minuscule, microscopic beads. And then you're gonna go back through your star point. And if it ever gets to the point where you're like, it doesn't even look like a star anymore, what the fuck are you talking about? If you look, you can see the thread coming through. Ideally with the darker flowers, you would want to use either black or the smoke thread, but in the end, it really doesn't matter. And if people are looking that close, they can make their own fucking flowers, is how I think. All right, so you've made your loop, and now you're gonna go through your focus 2 beads on this side, like that. You're gonna get your finger caught in the thread. Haha, just kidding. Okay, now you're going to pick up your 3 beads for the top. Okay. Then you're going to skip the top bead and go through these other 2 and then back through your star point, like that. So 3 beads on the needle, 3 beads you're going through. And then you're gonna find your last star point, which you will be able to see. It looks like a little person with no head. And you're going to go through your 5th star point. Just make sure when you do that you don't go through the petals, because that will fuck you up. Ask me how, I know. You go through that 5th star point, pick up your last 5 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you got 5 beads. I'm gonna go back through your 5th star point, pull your thread to make a loop. Then you're gonna go through these 2 beads right here, pull, pick up your last 3 beads. No more beads after this. So you got 3 beads. You're gonna go skip this top one. You're gonna go through these 2 and then go through your star point. All right. All right. Now you have your 5 petals. Yay, we made it this far. Oh, it took me 26 minutes, Jesus Christ. Okay, so now it's just a matter of, you've done your tiny flower, you've done your star, you've done your 5 petals. Now you have to connect the petals, and it's super easy. All you do is you take, and you see these 3 beads in the middle, that's all you're gonna focus on. So you're gonna go up through this bead, and then you're gonna go through the middle bead, through the middle bead, and then you're gonna go down through the side bead. So you're essentially connecting each petal in the middle. So remember the 3 beads that we did at the end of the petal, you're going to ignore those, and you're going through the 3 middle beads. So we're going to do it again with the next petal. Go up, and sometimes you can get lucky and go through the first and the second one at the same time. I wanted to make sure that I showed you guys which beads you were going through. You're gonna pull, not too tight, but you're gonna make sure it's snug as you're going through each one of these. And then you're gonna go down through this one. Okay, and then, so we've done 2. Now we're gonna go through these. And go down through the middle on that one. All right, and then you're gonna go to the next petal. Go up, and can I do it? Yep. Go through the middle bead as well, pull snug, then go down on this side bead. Then go to the next petal, go up, and through the middle one, and then go down through this one, and then okay, so wow, you can see it's already starting to become a flowerish shape. So you just have to connect these two. So you'll go through, and you've already gone through this one, but you need to go through it again, because otherwise that last petal will not be attached to fuck all, and it will look stupid. And it won't be, God bless, what are you doing? It won't be a fleur. Okay, so now you've got your little tiny flower. You're gonna go down through, Mother of God. You're gonna go back down through your side bead like you would have. If you can ever get your thread out of the way. This shouldn't be so hard. Okay, so go down through this side bead, and when I do the last petal, I like to go out towards the back, because that sets me up for finishing it off. So you just pull it tight. Now it's not going to be perfect, and it's never going to stay completely tight. That sounds dirty. Anyway, it's just the nature of handcrafted items. Live and learn. So in order to secure it, you're going to go pick a bead. I usually try to go right below it. So you're going to go through one bead like that, and then to set yourself up to do the middle bead, you're going to go through one of these beads, like not your star points, but one of the first, that's a star point, one of these first beads. Or not. Go through a fucking star point, you know what? That works. Okay, now you're going to, before you pull it all the way through, slip your needle in there. And then that ties a knot. And then you're going to do it one more time through whatever, the same bead that you were just in. Go through, and before it's done, put your needle through it, and then pull tight. All right, now your flower's done. Yay. Now, to finish it off, I'm going to take one of these silver beads, if I can grab one. All right, so I've got this, that is a blue bead. Mother of God. You know what? Fuck it. Okay, so you're going to take one of these little silver beads. I think these are 3mm or 4mm. I can't remember, and I don't have the package anymore. I want to say that they're 4, because I got a package of 3, 4, and 5, and these are the middle ones. It was the Goldilocks of the 3 beads. So what I do is you automatically have a hole in your flower. So take your needle, go up through that hole, and then thread this bead on your needle. And then you're gonna pull the thread through like that. And then, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you this. You want to make sure that you go back through that hole. Okay, you don't want to go through the side or the bead, any of the other beads, because then your silver bead will not be centered. I've done that. Don't make my mistakes. All right, so you've got your little bead. Yay. Now, in order to secure that, what I do, kind of like doing a buttonhole. So you've got your hole there. Mother of God, it's like a spider on a thread. Okay. You're going to take your needle and just pick a bead. Any bead, does not matter. Just pick a bead that you can get your damn needle through. What the ever loving fuck. Okay, so let's pick one on this side. It should not be this hard. Okay, so you're gonna go through a bead and you're gonna pull it. And then you're gonna pick a bead on the opposite side, but not that one bead that I keep trying to go through and can't. We're gonna go through this one. Son of a bitch. All right, so go through that bead, and you kind of want to make sure that you're holding on to the silver bead to keep it where it's supposed to be, in the middle. Okay, so you've crossed it now. You're coming out there, find a spot over here. You're just crisscrossing, kind of giving it, the bead, a little base to sit its little butt on. Son of a fucking whore. Get in the hole. I hate these beads. Well, we're gonna pick a different bead. Longest tutorial video ever. Okay. I swear to God, we're almost done. Okay, so I usually like to do it 4 times, so I'm gonna pick another one over here. We haven't tortured this side yet. Let's go through this bead right here. Now, going through your 4th bead, you want to do like you did when we were finishing the flower. So before you pull your thread through, you're gonna put the needle through it, go through the same bead, I think. And split your thread. I would never be able to do that again if I wanted to. Okay, so pull the needle. And before it gets too done, you're gonna slip your needle through. And then, guess what, ladies? You are finished. And you've got a little bead. There's really no way to keep that thread from not showing. So, yeah. Now, you can either use this thread and attach it to a closed metal ring. I don't think I would use a jump ring because I'd be afraid that no matter how many times you knot it, that the thread is going to come through the little opening. You could probably do a split ring if you've got those, or just a closed ring. You can attach it to that, and then you can attach it to earrings or bracelet. You can make a whole bunch of them and use thread and a needle and more seed beads to make a connected bracelet. There's lots of ideas on YouTube, but anyway, yeah, this is how I taught myself to make these little flowers, and I really hope it was helpful. And now I'm going to, as Samuel Jackson would say, go the fuck to sleep. Bye.